there was a survey done a couple of years ago that looked at people's biggest fears. And heights was third, death was second, public speaking third.
Wow.
Which actually means if you're at a funeral,
Yeah.
you'd rather be in the box than actually be doing the eulogy.
Me and you were both part of the inaugural speakers
Absolutely.
for the event.
Try it. It's lots and lots of people don't like doing it. If you're the one that does it, it's a great chance to help you stand out and be dramatically and demonstrably different.
It's my first time wearing these. I feel very privileged. Hello, and thank you for tuning in to the Yorkshire Business Podcast. Today I'm sitting down with Andy Hanselman from Andy Hanselman Consulting, a chap that I'm pretty sure a lot of you will be really familiar with. This is a really interesting conversation on all things public speaking. Please do tune in. My name's Chloe, I'm the founder of One Source HR, and I'm the host of the Yorkshire Business Podcast.
My name's Andy Hanselman from Andy Hanselman Consulting, very much titled, based in Sheffield, consulting, training and helping businesses get better at what they do.
Yeah, awesome. And how long have you... I think people are going to know you. Right. I'm going to be honest. Everyone's going to know who you are, sure. But for those that don't, give us the background story.
So the background, very quickly. Failed my level miserably, worked down Denington Pit for a number of years, then went to university degree in mining engineering. They shut all the pits while I was studying.
Yeah.
So then I joined a company called Steety, which is in quarrying, brickmaking. Met a guy who trained and developed people there and tapped me on the shoulder and said, there's 3 of us and a secretary. Do you want to join us as a gopher? As a consulting business. So that's what I did. Worked there for a number of years, and then nearly 31 years ago now, I set up my own business, started again on my own. Then joined a lady called Jill White, who is now my wife.
Yeah.
We built that to a business of about 15 people, sold that to management team 10 plus years, 20 years ago, and then started again, and now it's just me, Jill and Danielle, just 3 of us.
Yeah.
And the great thing is when the 3 of you get to be employee of the month once a quarter. Yeah. And that's the gang up around. And we work with a business. I speak at conferences, we run leadership programs, we run customer service programs, and just help businesses get better at what they do.
Yeah, lovely. And I know that you and Jill are all about giving back. And you're always helping out local business community, aren't you? Yeah,
it's something we've done. I mean, probably Jill better than me, but since day one, we've had lots of businesses who've started and grown with us, near us, and are now doing some pretty amazing things. So, people like Hannah from The Great Escape.
Yeah.
When she first came to see us, she was just starting out. We can see Jill, Tom and Mike from Kitlocker.
Yeah.
When they first started out, it was their dissertation from university. So we've worked with lots of growing businesses and then worked with quite a few established ones as well. So it's good.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's awesome. So we actually initially met at the Sheffield Chamber there, Leadership Unleashed conference,
yes.
Which was the first one this year.
Right.
So me and you were both part of the inaugural speakers
Absolutely.
For the event. And what an interesting format that was, like the 6-minute lightning thing. I've never done anything like that before.
I've done a TED talk before,
which
is 18 minutes, but trying to get it down to 6 minutes, and particularly I was doing it with Tobias, and it was really trying to get people trying to work out what is and isn't appropriate.
Yeah.
And it's quite difficult to get rid of that. I can talk forever.
Yeah.
But trying to get it down into a few minutes is always a tricky one.
Yeah, absolutely. And trying to read your audience and pitch to the audience as well on the day.
Yeah, very much so. And you're looking for the body language and the signs that people are going, yes, this is all right.
Yeah.
People smiling.
Yeah.
Which they did, which is good.
Yeah, they did. I think you and Tobias did an absolutely cracking job. It was a great speech. I think for me, it was one of the standout ones of the day. Not saying everybody was amazing in their own kind of right, but you did something really different, and I think it was very audience interactive too.
Yeah, well, we talk about being dramatically and demonstrably different, which means doing things that stand out.
Yeah.
The downside of that is that sometimes not everybody likes it because you get focused on. But certainly with Tobias, he wants to present, he wants to get involved, and he apparently wants to do lots more. So I'm going to try and help him find ways of doing that.
Yeah.
And it was just great fun, just sort of practicing with him. But then he also had his own little off-the-cuff remarks that he built in, which I think again is a a good side of a good presenter.
Yeah.
And he did it really, really well.
Yeah. No, he did. He did definitely do it really well. And really, that's what we're here to talk about today, like public speaking, presenting, and just sharing kind of insights on that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's quite, I don't know if you know, if you look at people's biggest fears, there was a survey done a couple of years ago that looked at people's biggest fears. And heights was third, death was second, public speaking third.
Wow.
Which actually means if you're at a funeral,
Yeah.
you'd rather be in the box than actually be doing the eulogy.
Yeah.
And then I discovered, because we do a bit of training on it, it's actually called glossophobia.
Okay.
And it is a natural thing that lots of people feel scared about.
Yeah. I wonder why that is. What is it? Like, you deliver training on it. What do people tell you they're most scared of about it?
Well, for instance, I can talk to people and I'll say, are you having a conversation with people? Yeah. Well, how many? 2 people? Yeah. 10 people? Yeah. Do you have a conversation with 15? Yeah. What about presenting? Oh, it's different. And it's just something in there. So
Yeah.
I try and encourage people to say, see it as a presentation.
Yeah.
Sorry, see it as a meeting, a conversation. Mm-hmm. And that maybe allows you to start doing that. But there is this fear that people just, for fear of sort of it going wrong. Oh, the classic one is, I meant to say this, I didn't say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nobody knows that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's sometimes just trying to work out that the more scripted it is, the more likely it is I think you'll get it wrong.
Yeah.
And it's just trying to be working out what you need to get out of it is a starting point.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree with that. And obviously, hosting the Yorkshire Business Podcast, I get that all the time. Like, people will say to me, oh, I didn't say this, like, oh, and beating themselves up. Yeah. But nobody knows. You said lots of different brilliant things, so nobody's going to miss what they didn't know you were going to say. Absolutely. And, as well, people focusing so much on, like, what are you going to ask me? And it's not an interrogation. No. It's not going to be bum, bum, bum. No. It's just a conversation. Yeah. And we're all human beings.
Well, it's really sad. I did some work many years ago. I spoke at a conference, and I went to the company. There were 400 people in the audience, and I got there before lunch, and the chief exec did his bit before lunch. And I could see people behind me. I was stood at the back, and I could see people going. And it turns out that they were actually doing there was a betting thing about how long he was going to be, which words he was going to use.
Yeah.
And he was pretty hopeful. He wasn't good at all. Anyway, went really well. They said, could you come back next year? I said, yeah. They said, could you host it? I went, yeah. I said, could I just ask, is the chief exec going to do his thing? And the HR director went, yeah, he always does it. He's not very good, is he? And I talked to him about it. And he said, back in the day, I did a presentation in front of the sales team, and when I was a young apprentice, failed miserably, and it's given me all those palpitations. So I said, well, I'll interview you on stage instead. So I know what I want to say. Well, people are, he's like a different man. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it doesn't have to be a form person. There's lots of different ways of getting the message across. And he just came across as being a good old nice bloke.
Yeah.
Which is what he was.
Yeah. And not nattering on too much and sending people to sleep. Because I think you can have that tendency as well, when you're panicked, to just waffle.
Yes.
And you're making it a lot worse for yourself, aren't you?
Carries on. People can never go again.
Yeah. They've got the feeling of dread. You've got the feeling of dread, and actually no one. Yeah, nobody's enjoying it whatsoever. I really like what you said about being different, and how there's a fear that maybe some people won't like that. Yeah. But you're not there to be liked by everybody, are you? If you're speaking to your captive audience, it doesn't really matter about everybody else. And that's something that through the work that I do, because some of it is quite niche, and I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Mm. And I've had people say to me, like, aren't you worried that you'll put people off from working with you because you're so outspoken about certain things? Well, not really, because if they're not my people, then they're not my people. As long as my message is reaching my people.
Yeah. We talk about choose them or lose them.
Yeah.
It's about focusing on the customers, the individuals you want to work with. And I work with a lot of clients, not just on speaking, but in terms of the marketing side of it. Who's your target? Who are your best customers?
Yeah.
And maybe who are the worst ones, and who are the ones maybe you don't want to talk to. And sometimes you go, no, that's not for me.
Yeah.
Or sometimes your presentation is the thing that draws it out. You actually start to realise who are the people, my tribe, if you like, and the people that you want to engage with.
Yeah.
And I think, maybe sometimes comes across a bit arrogant, but if they don't like it, fair enough.
Yeah.
If lots of people don't like it, or nobody likes it, I've got a problem.
Yeah.
But if the people that I want to work with like what we do, then keep doing it.
Yeah, I agree with that. What do you think, because, you are in this arena where you help businesses with lots of different things, whether it's marketing, customer service, what do you think public speaking delivers that other forms of marketing don't?
I think the big one, if you get it right, is you're selling yourself. Mm-hmm. I talk about differentiating with AI. In AI, I mean authentic interactions. Mm-hmm. Not knocking AI, but authentic interactions. People buy from people they like and trust.
Yeah.
Therefore, your presentation is an opportunity to do that. And I think particularly because I go to lots of network meetings where people are scared of doing it.
Yeah.
If you're prepared to stand up and do it, that's a starter for 10. That gets you ahead of the game.
Yeah.
But then it's about getting your personality as well as your message across.
Yeah.
And therefore, I think it's a great way of raising profile. Mm-hmm. I think it's a great way of actually just letting people know what it is that you do. Mm-hmm. Because people go, oh yeah, he's this or she's that.
Yeah.
But actually hearing it from their words, because look, we can skip through websites. If you've got a captive audience, people can listen to what you've got to say, so you can actually get that message across.
Yeah.
And then I think the other big one for me then is actually, how do you differentiate yourself? Why you?
Yeah.
Because we can all say we are consultants, speakers, but what do you talk about? How do you do it? And it gives people a real feel for it.
Yeah.
And that's why I think, again, it's about not faking it, it's about being you.
Yeah.
Because if somebody who doesn't like it, fine.
Yeah.
Focus on the ones that do.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And getting yourself like across and out there, because sometimes what we read on paper, like on websites, on LinkedIn, in copy, people get an idea of who you are, but it's not always actually reflective. People often say like, oh gosh, some of your posts on LinkedIn are about really serious stuff, so they expect me to maybe be like a bit standoffish or a bit serious, and actually I'm just really down to earth, like Yorkshire lass. I'm not saying I'm a massive extrovert, but I can have a laugh and a joke. It's not all HR all the time. Absolutely. But you don't get that unless people hear you speak.
Yeah. And I think the key thing for me, again, I sometimes run training courses on this. People, oh, Andy, I want to speak like you. So, no, you don't. Mm-hmm. You want to speak like you.
Yeah.
And if you are funny about these things, these are your little things you enjoy doing, like, get those in your presentation, get those in there one way or the other, so that people can actually buy into you as a human being, as well as the message you've got to say. And that's this thing about, we talk about what is your dramatic difference? What is that bundle of stuff that differentiates you?
Yeah.
And the classic one for me, I particularly here for marketing, these are our USPs.
Mm-hmm.
And USPs for me stands for usual stuff people say.
Okay.
And I'm not saying we shouldn't say it, but do you demonstrate it? It's not what you're saying, it's what you do.
Yeah.
So does that come across in how you do it and what you sort of get across to people in the way you interact with them?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a good example of that is like if you say, oh, I might say, we do HR that's jargon free.
Yeah.
And when we were preparing for the Leadership Unleashed, obviously Kat's was kind of mentoring us all, and the feedback that she was giving to our group was like, don't try and make yourself sound smarter than you are. We all want to chuck in these really big fancy words because that's one of people's fears, isn't it? Like, I don't want to sound stupid, I don't want to look stupid. But actually, you're going to look and sound really stupid when you're stumbling and stuttering around words that aren't natural to you. And if I'd got up on stage and tried to talk in a certain way, well, it wouldn't be my jargon-free brand, would it? So it's not representing who I am.
Absolutely. And then if they did say, I like what this girl's done or this bloke's done, and it's not you, you've actually raised expectations and dropped them. If you are someone that uses lots of technical words, and that's part of what you do, that's great.
Yeah.
But then be prepared to carry that through with what you do and how you do it. That to me is back to what is your dramatic difference, what is your bundle of stuff that differentiates you.
Yeah, absolutely. What kind of advice would you give to somebody who doesn't know what their dramatic difference is yet? How do you go about discovering that?
I think a couple of things. Talk to customers. Just talk to them. What do they think? Sometimes I ask people, if you were to describe this person in just 3 words, what words would you use?
Yeah.
And that doesn't necessarily give the answer, it starts to give the feel for where we're doing. But I also sometimes think it's okay just to look at what do others do and what do you do differently from them.
Yeah.
But the key bit for me is then how do you actually demonstrate that and live it?
Yeah.
Rather than just say it, because the danger for me is people put stuff up there, says with this, and match you, and you see them. They're the same. They're not any different.
Yeah.
So I think it's about, I think it's also about trying to work out for you personally what are your values, your beliefs. What do you want?
Yeah.
And what do you want to? How do you want to be seen?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't mean how do you fake it. It's what is important to you. And I was once asked some years ago to speak at a conference through a speaker agency. I do some work, and they said it was down south, and they said, Andy, we might need you just to try and change your accent a bit.
Okay.
They might not understand you. I said, well, that's tough. I'm not changing my accent.
Yeah.
That's how I am. That's me. I'm not going to fake it.
Yeah.
So I think it's about being yourself and just working what that is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't really change the most fundamental part of yourself, can you? Like where you were born and raised. And I love a good northern accent anyway.
I think what you can do is tailor it. So, for example, if I'm working with a bunch of senior executives, I'd probably pitch certain things in different language.
Yeah.
We're working with a bunch of employees from the shop floor, not right or wrong.
Yeah.
Or even very simple things. I'm working with lawyers or accountants. I talk about clients, not customers. Because if you talk about customers, they go, oh, you don't understand our business.
Yeah.
So it's trying to those are the things where I think you do adapt to the audience.
Yeah.
But you personally, style doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah. You get attuned to who you're dealing with, and you have to be adaptable. And I was saying this to somebody else earlier, actually. Earlier this year, I was lucky enough to go down to LinkedIn HQ. Right. Really cool experience. But some of the insights that they shared, they were saying that adaptability is the number one sought after skill by employers. And that applies to everything, to the language that we use. People are really acutely attuned to everything that you're saying all the time. So a lot of my work is around like, how do we build a call it out culture? How do you encourage people to be able to speak up when they see something that's inappropriate or they're not happy with? And people are listening to what you're saying all the time. Yeah. So, for example, we analyse the words in like a paragraph, fault, cause, responsibility and blame. Okay. And at first, people will say, well, they all kind of mean the same thing. But then we start to look a bit deeper about, what are the moral connotations of some of these words? How do they make you feel? Okay, now think about if you were to use this paragraph, it's coming from a good place. You're kind of caveating, it's not your fault, but you need to take some responsibility. It's coming from a good place, but actually everybody's inferring different things from that. And what they're hearing is that you're not a safe person to disclose to. And I think we're having a conversation about speaking, but there's a lot to say for listening.
Totally.
There's a time to stop speaking.
The research suggests that most of us aren't very good at listening. Have you ever been to an event where you get chatting to somebody?
Yep.
You're getting really well with them. Mm-hmm. You know all their life story. Your friend comes, who's this?
Forgot the name. Did it last night.
Yeah. Well, somebody once gave me a tip when the interview say, hello, my name's Chloe. You go, Chloe, it's great to meet you. My name's Andy.
Yeah.
Clearly, you don't do the live as Andy bit.
Yeah.
But the very fact that you just repeat their name in that bit allows it to sink in.
Yeah.
And I've tried it, and it does work. No guarantees you'll know them next time or remember it.
Yeah.
It's that thing about, and it's actively listening.
Yeah.
And I think, well, somebody once gave me a tip that sort of said it's 2 ears, 1 mouth. Use them in that proportion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's what it's about. I think you find a lot of good salespeople, a lot of people you make relationships with, good at asking you a question and not saying much, just listening to you.
Yeah.
And you feel comfortable. You go, well, and that's what this is about, building rapport with people and trust.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I invested in a bit of sales training as I went self-employed, and it wasn't what I expected it to be. It was really, really impactful, but it wasn't what I expected it to be. And a lot of that was focused around how you have those conversations and listening and then mirroring back to them like, this is what I'm hearing, this is what's important to you, this is what you've told me your blocker is, have I understood it right? And it's a much more relationship-based way. And it's odd that I didn't figure that out. It's not odd because I'm not a master of everything, but I was surprised I didn't figure it out myself, because when I think about the way that I like to be sold to, it is that consultative way. Yeah. When someone rings me up and they're trying to sell me something, they don't know anything about me, I find it really frustrating.
Yeah. And it's about building trust and rapport first.
Yeah.
But I'd argue you can build that into presentations too.
Yeah.
One of the things for me that a lot of people get scared about, and I'm quite lucky because I do it for a living, is interacting with the audience.
Yeah.
And even if it's just getting a show of hands or just throwing something out there, who does this, who does that, it helps just engage people.
Yeah.
If you're really brave, you can then go, okay, well, you think about this and actually get interaction. Or get people to talk in groups
Yeah.
about something. It gives you a bit of time to get a drink and calm down, but just get that interaction.
Yeah.
And then somebody once gave me a tip. I don't know. Somebody asks you a question you can't answer. That's a fear.
Yeah.
Well, I go, that's a great question. What does anybody else think?
Yeah.
So you get if somebody gives you but they give you time to think.
Yeah.
Well, look, sometimes I don't know the answer to that. I'll go and find out and I'll get back to you on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's okay. But it's preparing yourself
Yeah.
for some of those things.
Yeah.
Because they will, inverted commas, happen,
Yeah.
go wrong, whatever you want to call it. Try to prepare for it.
Yeah, absolutely. They do. Them situations do happen in leadership, and for me, I think of myself as more of a facilitator than a trainer. For me, I'm there to help people unlearn as much as learn new things. But a big part of that is debate and discussion, and I've absolutely had that where I'm like, oh God, I need some time to think, and I do say, what does everybody else think? And sometimes I praise people and say, you know what, you've summarised that better than I could. I might have to pay you to come and do that bit for me next time, because it's that good.
Yeah, and the thing I like about that is, if you've got small groups, it allows them all to contribute. They might not want to present back, not want to feed it back. You can find one person that can.
Yeah.
Everybody has a chance to get engaged and talk, but they don't get put on the spot.
Yeah.
It's just making people feel comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Key thing for me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, it's not about definitely putting anybody on the spot and making them do anything that they're not comfortable with. We're not all like that, are we? And part of the work that I do a lot of training around bystander intervention, and I teach the 4 Ds. So it's direct, distract, delegate, and delay.
Okay.
And in a nutshell, people think if they saw something inappropriate happening, they'd call it out directly. Yep. So they'd use the direct approach. And we all like to think that. But in reality, that is not what happens. No. Because as human beings, we're hardwired to try and avoid confrontation. It's uncomfortable. We don't like it. So, when I put people, give them scenarios to explore, they quickly realise, okay, that's not really what I'd do. So then they've got to think about these other strategies that they would employ. But, a lot of it does involve a verbal cue. Even if you're calling something out directly, I always try and teach them it's about finding something that feels like real and affirming to you, not scripted. So like if I were calling something out in the moment, I'd say, oh, pack it in.
Yeah.
It's just what comes naturally.
Absolutely.
And it's not always about the words. It might be about tone. So some people I'd say, oh, behave. And that's very different to my behave yourself. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think, again, one of the things that when I talk to people about communicating is the understanding of, and some people question the statistics, but it's the thing about voice, tone of it, what you say, and the body language.
Yeah.
And in terms of the impact, they reckon that what you say is 7%, tone 38%, body language 55%.
Yeah.
That might not be 100% accurate, but it is that thing that says, are you communicating it in what you do and how you say it, the words that you say?
Yeah.
And what I've sometimes found when people are presenting and getting ready to present, they put all the time and effort into the words rather than the tone and just how they come across to what they say. Which is why, again, if people are becoming more natural and comfortable with something, it will come across in their body language, in their tone, doing it. But one of the worst things I think you can do is not see yourself on video, not listen to yourself. And nobody likes doing it, but just seeing yourself on video and seeing what you do and don't do can be quite an interesting way of just learning.
Yeah.
An uncomfortable one.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but seeing it and doing it is the key to it. Because, as I say, people like to put a lot of effort into what they're going to say. The reality is, at the end of it, what do people feel about it? How do people react? You probably can't remember every single word you said. You wouldn't want them to. It's what's the feel, what's the key message.
Yeah.
Which then comes right back to the beginning and say, okay, what is the purpose of your presentation? And if there's one thing I would encourage you to think about, what is the one thing you want people to do, say, think, feel as a result of what you've done? It could be, come and talk to me, go on my website, train, learn about this, buy this. but it's being clear about what you want to present, which then determines what you say and how you say it. So if you're doing a pitch at a network, you might not be looking for sales, you might be looking for letting people know who you are. That would therefore be a different presentation if you're trying to sell your expertise or sell your services.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And it's just that thing about, what do you want to achieve as ultimate?
Yeah.
And if you can work that out, that might then help shape what you do, how you do it, and which methods you use to get the message across.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think that there's an element of, if you demonstrate that you've got confidence in yourself, it makes other people feel confident in your abilities as well?
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, and there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. But it is that thing about, if you can, somebody once said to me that one of the best ways to sound like you know what you're talking about is to know what you're talking about. And that is, again, this whole idea of, this is not trying to fake it, it's about doing the research, but making sure then that it comes across. So yes, you've got to do the preparation, you've got to know your stuff.
Yeah.
But then it's how do you get that across? And I think, again, building credibility is giving examples, dropping names. I don't necessarily mean faking it, but if I've worked with certain clients that's relevant to the audience, that just makes people go, oh, she knows what she's talking about, this one.
Yeah.
And I think the other one is relating it to the audience so they can go, yeah, she knows where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
That people can see what that is, which is why, for me, a lot of presentation preparation is that preparation bit.
Yeah.
The success is actually doing the research before.
Yeah.
And making sure that people feel as if it's been tailored to them. Even if you've done it hundreds of times before.
Yep.
You know that. You can just make people feel it's up to speed, up to date stuff. And that even could be simple things like, and you've got to be careful how you do it, mentioning something in the news or that's happened that day, or something to do with somebody in the audience, embarrassing people.
Yeah.
Just shows people that, you talk about with B, it relates to them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in the last month I've worked, it's the same delivery, but it's all tailored and very different. I've worked with a chartered accountant and a GP alliance. Now, the stories that I tell in each scenario, they deliver the same message, but they're very tailored, because there's no point me talking about a GP surgery to a bunch of chartered accountants. There's no point me talking to the GP surgery about a manufacturing environment. So I think a lot of effort goes into tailoring this stuff behind the scenes, but it is so worth it and so impactful to build that connection with people. And finding those relevant case studies, like you say, as well, and finding the right language. I kind of thought when I went into self-employment, I thought, oh, it'd be great. I'll work with a lot of manufacturing and engineering businesses, because that's where my background is. It'll be easy to build credibility because I can speak their language. And that absolutely has been the case. But actually, it comes back to that adaptability. There are fewer limitations if you can be adaptable and speak the language of other people as well.
Absolutely. One of the things I sometimes do, which again is maybe an excuse, but I will say, because I want people to think differently, I will sometimes deliberately give them examples from outside their industry. I said, you can all compare each other as accountants.
Yeah.
And you've got slightly better pens than them or a nicer reception desk.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm seeing working in an IT business. Not copy it, but what can it do? So I sometimes legitimise the using extra examples by saying, this is why I'm giving it to you.
Yeah.
So I want you to stretch yourself and think. So it gives me an excuse to show things that maybe they wouldn't normally expect.
Yeah.
But it's, again, I'd argue that is part of my dramatic difference. I'm not an expert in one sector.
Yeah.
I don't try to be, because I think lots of the challenges we have in growing business. So I can talk to somebody starting up, and I'll say, I bet these are the issues you've got. I can talk to somebody who's grown his or her business, has got 20 employees. I can talk to somebody who's got 100, and it's different challenges.
Yeah.
Within reason, almost regardless of what sector that they're actually in. But they don't know that.
Yeah.
Because they think they're unique.
Yeah, yeah. Operate in isolation. Absolutely. A lot of this stuff we've got at the minute around skills gaps and skills shortages, I just wonder how powerful it could be if so many more of these businesses from different sectors collaborated and shared best practice. We've got, a lot of sectors operating in quite an insular way, trying to solve that problem, I feel.
To be unfair, that is, without doing a blatant advertisement, that is the basis of 3D Connect, which is our network group.
Yeah.
where we deliberately, consciously bring people together from different industries, and we will happily have more than one lawyer in the room. We don't have a little, because we want people to learn, but it is about learning from each other.
Yeah.
And yes, people can do business with each other, but the ethos of it is connect, collaborate, learn from each other, and build relationships.
Yeah.
And that to me is what it's about. If somebody says, "Oh, I don't want to talk to my people in my industry," well, fine, it's not for you.
Yeah.
And I guess equally the same, if you feel that I'm not saying people should give away company secrets, but if you've got your competitors in the room, scare them a bit and let them know how good you are and what you're doing and what you're talking about, and just let them know.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And, you never know what opportunities that's going to open up for collaboration as well. I mean, I work with a lot of other HR consultants because they've got skill sets that I don't, and I've got skill sets that they don't. But some, I've got this HR referrers document where I share quite a lot of the detail of what I do. And some feedback I had was like, "Oh, you're not worried about sharing all that detail. What if they copy it?" They can try and copy, but they're not me. People buy me for me.
It's so if I do a presentation, I will often just put the slides up on the website for you to download.
Yeah.
And people say, "But you're giving away your intellectual property." I said, "Well, I'm not. I'm giving away a few images, and if it's just about the slides, then I'll just give them to people. It's about what I say and how I do it."
Yeah, yeah.
So I know people can have a look at it if they want, but hopefully it's what I say and do.
Yeah.
And use the slides rather than the slides themselves.
Oh, yeah, yeah. The slides should never be like the focal point of any presentation, should they? And that's why I really loved that Leadership Unleashed, because I think their thing was you could have one picture or 6 words on each slide.
Yeah.
And I really loved that. I found it challenging, but it's actually changed the way that I'm using slides a little bit.
It is interesting. I do some work with the Digital Forge in Sheffield, which is where we get entrepreneurial businesses pitching to investors.
Yeah.
But they're only given 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And no slides. And one of the little things that I get people to think about, again, is what's the purpose? Mm-hmm. What do you want to achieve? What do you want people to do as ultimate? There's plenty of time for networking after, so it's not necessarily saying, "Please give me X million pounds." It's, "I'm interested, please come and talk to me."
Yeah.
But I use a little thing called CNN.
Okay.
And CNN is what information is critical, what's nice to know,
Yeah.
and what's noise.
Okay.
And if you've got a 30-minute presentation down to 3 minutes, you've got to get rid of a lot of that noise.
Yeah.
And it's working on that critical and nice to know stuff.
Yeah.
And even then, that's about understanding the audience, what you want to achieve from it. But that CNN, I would argue, you could apply to almost anything. You could apply to internal communications in the business. When you have a sales meeting with somebody, what's the critical information they need to know? What's nice to know? What's noise?
Yeah.
And just using that as a framework.
Yeah.
Sometimes helps people focus on what they should and shouldn't be saying, what they should and shouldn't be telling other people about.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that. That's great. I think I'm going to need like a sheet that's got Andy's acronyms on because they're wonderful. I'm not going to remember them all, but they're all fantastic. Yeah, I think you're right. And how we can get that critical information across by not just people hearing us, but making them feel it through what they see. So that kind of visual imagery and using your slides for that. In some of the training that I do, there's some quite complex models. Like one of them, it's a triangle and it shows how harm can escalate along a continuum. It's good, it's a nice model, but immediately on the next slide, I have a picture of an iceberg and it shows everything that goes on below the waterline and everything above it. And people go, get it now. And they feel it and they see it and they think, yeah, that's the tip of the iceberg and everything else sits below it. So it is thinking about how you can use that too.
And I think it's about people like stories.
Mm-hmm.
And it's stories that get a message across. And again, hopefully tailored to the individual. Sometimes you need to emphasise that the stories work. And I just think an image with a story is incredibly powerful rather than 15 PowerPoint
bullet points. Yeah.
And the other thing on that, when everybody says to me, I've got these bullet points, I try and stop them doing it because what they do is they read them.
Yeah.
If you've got all the words up there, you'll read them.
Yeah.
So an image enforces you, encourages you to know what you're talking about and prepare for it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that. Do you think, like, because we've talked about credibility, we've talked a little bit about confidence. I think a big barrier is people assuming that to them public speaking is them assuming that they don't have confidence, like they're not confident. Do you think confidence is something that you need to have before you speak, or is it something that you build from doing it?
I think you can build it from doing it.
Yeah.
Right. Most of the training I do, very rarely do we do any sort of role play. We do sales training. When we do presentations,
Yeah.
I do get people to try it, because unfortunately, I think, in my view, one of the only ways of actually getting to do it and get better at it is to do it.
Yeah.
But what is interesting, so classic one for me, there's a day program we run where, and I do some introductions. I say, right, I want you to talk for 3 minutes on something you're passionate about, nothing to do with work, whatever it can be.
Yeah.
And people have to get up and do it in front of usually their peer group or their and I say, how did you? Nervous as hell. And I go, did anybody see they were nervous? No, and it's your own perception sometimes that you are shaking, and lots of people can't see it.
Yeah.
So you beat yourself up. But even then, it's simple tips. People sometimes, for example, when they present, they have an A4 piece of paper.
Yeah.
Don't, because that wobbles.
Yeah.
If you're going to use notes, and notes are okay, just have them on cards.
Yeah.
And just a quick one on that one. If you do have cards, number them.
Yeah.
Just so that if you drop them, they're in the right order. And also, if you do use cards, again, it's just keywords.
Yeah.
And it's simple stuff that means you've got to practice it to do it. But it actually, that allows you then to make eye contact and interact with people rather than looking at slides and looking at notes.
Yeah.
But that confidence thing, I think, it does come with, almost as I wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I can do this. I can work on this. I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
And it's building on it.
Yeah.
It's trying it, having a go, and getting people to give you the feedback, which pointing out things you're doing well, not doing so well. How do you get better at it?
Yeah, absolutely. I had a HR manager on from a business in Rotherham called ZND. She's called Leanne. And she was saying when she was at university, she was too scared to speak to anybody. She couldn't even say hello to people. And she came on and she was so amazing, such a good speaker. And she kind of described it as confidence being like a muscle that you have to exercise. Yes. Just like you go to the gym and your muscles get bigger, the more you put yourself out there and do it, the more confident you get doing it.
Yeah. And I can remember when I was at university, I did mining engineering. We had the Mining Society, which was a boys' gang that went drinking and played football on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And I was nominated to be sports secretary, which basically meant, can you get 11 people sober on a Sunday morning?
Yeah.
But we did it. Somebody nominated you. You had to present yourself. And I can remember sitting around, and it makes me sure that it was a Thursday afternoon. I was in front of my peer group, my friends, and I got this piece of paper going, my name is Andy. And I was absolutely all over the place.
Yeah.
And I look back, and I still remember that. And then we were really, really lucky. The professor at our university said to us all, and he was with the traditional guy, said, you need to learn how to present. And we had a day's presentation training.
Yeah.
From this professional lady that came in, and she had a little card with some notes on, and I had that for years. It just helped me.
Yeah.
And those are the basic things that I think the more you can develop those in people early on.
Yeah.
And give them the confidence, give them the support to do it. That's where it is, because the danger is, and I've seen this, which is the guy that I spoke about earlier. They get to very senior levels.
Yeah.
And they can't do it.
Yeah.
But then they dare to admit they can't do it.
Yeah, it's an expectation that you've got that skill or that confidence. But if you've not had that space or support to actually practice it, you're not going to get there.
Yeah. And a few years ago, we ran a couple of clients, and I said, Andy, I need to, as MD of a business, I need to do some presentation skills training. Would you do that? I said, yeah. So we'll have a word round with other businesses in Sheffield, and we'll do a day. And we did this day. I think about 7 MDs of different growing businesses in South Yorkshire. No one. What are you doing here? You're good at this stuff. And you were all surprised that they were there. Because sometimes people can, come across as being okay, but they're still nervous. And there's lots of evidence to suggest that a little bit of nerves helps. Yeah. It's creates that focus. It's if it stops you doing it. It's the problem.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, if we were to round up now, I know what my piece of advice is, but I'm intrigued to know, if you're going to give one piece of advice to somebody to practice their public speaking, to get better at it, to build that confidence, what would it be?
Well, I talk about 5 Ps.
Okay.
And the first is about preparation. Mm-hmm. And that's about understanding what is the purpose of this, who are you talking to, what do you want. The second then is actually what I call production, which is deciding, are you going to use images, are you going to use slides, what's it going to look like? Yeah. The next one is about practicing. having a go, keep doing it over and over again.
Yeah.
The performing bit is actually doing it for the people, understanding it's about body language, understanding the different techniques. And then the last one is perfecting.
Yeah.
What went well, what didn't go so well, what will be different the next time. And that's a loop
Yeah.
that you go through. Those 5 Ps are the ones that I use
Yeah.
to get people to just to think about where they need to be. And the starting point for me is that P. Why are you doing it?
Yeah.
And if you can't work that out, you've got a problem because you'll be all over the place with it.
Yeah, I love that. That's right up my street because, I love a continuous improvement framework. So that is right up my street. Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on. Is there anything else you want to leave the listeners with?
I think it is just that thing that have a go, try it. It's lots and lots of people don't like doing it. If you're the one that does it, it's a great chance to help you stand out and be dramatically and demonstrably different.
Yeah, and be 3D. So shall we end with that?
Let's do that. That can be the press release.
It's my first time wearing these. I feel very privileged.
All the best, thank you.
All the best, thank you.